Record. Good. Thank you. Welcome in everyone that's joining us. Oh my goodness, Audrey, Caroline K, Kina, where are you joining us from? Laxmi, nice to see you. Melissa, Michelle, nice to see you from South Africa. Ooh, North Carolina, it's 17 p.m. in South Africa. You've been in like this year longer than most of us. Nice. Atlanta, Georgia, nice to see everyone. Well, listen, I know it is, well, whenever you're watching this, who knows if you're watching it today, but I know that everybody here is probably sitting at home if you're watching this live or if you're watching this today, because, well, it's January 1st, everything's closed. And this is exactly why I wanted to do this today. And this is something that I do personally every single year. And I wanted to do it with you because I was like, well, I'm going to do it anyway. So why not hang out with some awesome ladies and do it with you as well, right? Val, you're in Vermont? Cool. I'm usually in New Hampshire, not right now, of course. So let's go ahead and get started. Who here already has a pretty clear idea of the intentions that they want to set for this year? Now, the other reason why we did not do this, or I did not do this yesterday or before the new year, is because I know that once like New Year's Eve is over and we are into New Year's, this is when things start getting like, oh shit, I didn't do resolutions. I can't even, like everything just feels like it's piling onto us. And like, here we are, maybe we made resolutions last night that we're already not keeping and such. And the truth of the matter is, when it comes down to resolutions, more often than not, they don't actually work. The reason being is, unless you're, like superhuman, the reason why they don't tend to work is because I have to lose 10 pounds. I have to make more money, which is kind of like penalizing. It's like this, we set our goals with this internal critic running the show that is basically telling you that you're not good enough at this weight management, or you're not good enough at making money. Right. And probably, yeah, Michelle, like you don't make resolutions, you just try to make better plans that align with where you are. And perhaps the reason you ended up doing that is because over the years, you found that resolutions didn't seem to work. Right. Anyone here done resolutions and that they didn't actually work? Let me know in the chat, because I want to feel that I'm not alone here. Like I have how many decades of resolutions that just didn't actually manifest or happen. Audrey says, I just set 3 words that will guide me this year: lightness, abundance, and joy. My only real resolution is to take over my apartment tidiness. Oh, they never work for you, Val or Laxmi. Yeah, cool. Well, today what we're going to do is something a little different. Now, I've been doing this close to maybe not 10 years, but definitely for the last 5 years. My memory is not that long term, but I've definitely been doing it for like the last 5 years. And I can confidently say that I've been able to actually accomplish everything that I've set out to do. And no, they have not been resolutions. They have been internal, big, frickin' massive changes, whether that be, body composition, or achieving financial goals, and or building things or going places and such. Yeah, Akina says yes. And when I realized they didn't work, your only resolution is to not make resolutions. That's awesome. Well, let me get my notes, because I'm going to be doing this exercise with you ladies. I'll be right back. I totally left my notebook inside. So I'm going to have you grab a pen and paper. Y'all will notice I always have my pen and paper with me. 0.3 pen is a must, no, 0.5 tip. This is a thicker one, but it's the only kind that I use. I got my journal. We're going to do this together. Ladies, let me know when you have a pen and paper. We're not creating goals here. It's not really setting resolutions. We're just going to do something a little bit different, and it's going to be a little bit more powerful. And honestly, just follow through with what we're doing. And I virtually guarantee that this shit is going to work. It's going to work. The things that we're going to talk about, the intentions that you're going to set today are actually going to work. Oh, thank you, Michelle. You're always ready for my webinars. Good. All right. Let me know when you have something to take notes with and something to take the notes on, of course. All right. So, and I hope you guys don't mind. I'm in my pajamas. I put a bra for you on. If you're watching the replay of this and you're like, who the hell is this crazy woman? That's okay. I like being like this. It's all right. Okay, you got pen, you got paper, you're ready? Good, awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead. And I actually made a slight little presentation, which I never, ever do, because if you guys know me and you know me with PowerPoint or presentations, like I just have such a hard time tracking where I'm headed. But today is special. That's my resolution for the year, to be special. No, I want to really talk about how to use Zoom. Okay. Sorry, I got myself a new MacBook Pro and I'm not exactly sure where everything is. But I made this fancy presentation on Canva like 2 minutes ago. Brought to you, of course, by our awesome Her Money School. Now, let me figure out how to present this. Ladies, can you see my screen? Will you let me know in the chat if you can see? Oh, hi, Ellen. Nice to see you. You can see? All right. Awesome. You can see my presentation. Good. I'm gonna try to keep the chat here. All right. So, ladies, the first thing that we really need to talk about is what the heck goes on with goals whenever we set them for the next 12 months. You know, whenever we've set intentions in the past, it's not that you didn't really want something. You wanted to feel the joy, the satisfaction, the happiness that comes from that goal that you set. But two things went wrong. All right. And I want you to pay attention in this, because the two things that went wrong are things that we can actually tackle today. The first thing is that your goal didn't have any teeth to it. Saying, I want to lose 10 pounds, saying, I want to make $10 million this year, has no real emotional, energetic, and physical power pulling you towards it. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I want to make $1 million, or I want to make $10 million. It doesn't have the kind of power that's going to pull you towards that dream once willpower fades. You see, we can start that diet. We can go for a couple of days doing that diet or doing those things that we know we need to do in order to get to where we want to go with our business, our money goals, and whatever our ambitions might be. But when willpower fades, you need to be able to rely on something different. And the moment that willpower fades, something's happening. And what happens is that either it's a physical, an emotional, or an energetic blockage, if you will, gets in the way of you succeeding. Physical, you're too tired to go to the gym. Emotional, you feel that you're not worthy of making that money. Energetic, you're surrounding yourself, and I'm not even meaning like woo-woo kind of stuff, but energetically speaking, you're surrounding yourself with people that keep putting you down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when those three sources of blockages, which are usually blockages that you've had for decades, show up, that's when right off the bat, your willpower cannot carry you through those blockages. So start January 1st, but not like by January 15th, 95% of resolutions die because you face one, two, or all three types of internal blockages that you have. And willpower alone will not surpass those. Like saying that you want $10 million just goes down the drain because there's nothing capable of pulling you through those obstacles. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's so strange to see those palm trees, considering you're in Quebec. Yeah. Yeah, it's real nice. Look, it's so nice out there. So when you're thinking about your goals, this is what I want you to do. And I want you to take a moment, because I'm going to do this too with you guys. So like, this is beyond a like webinar, workshop, whatever. I'm doing this too for myself. So we're going to take a couple of minutes right now to write, give me like 3 things that you want to accomplish this year, but don't give them to me in, I want to make $1 million. I want to start a successful business. I want to lose 10 pounds. Give me those 3 goals with teeth. So I want to feel so healthy that when I look at myself in the mirror, I feel effing proud of my body and what it looks like, right? Give it an emotional and something energetic that's going to pull you. So like the secret of setting these 3 different goals that you're going to set right now is giving every single one of them emotional, energetic, and physical attributes that you want to achieve. So like give them aspirations that are physical, emotional, and energetic. So for example, if I'm talking wealth, right? If I'm talking my business, right? I'm doing this as I speak, right? If I'm talking and I'm looking so that I can write my notes here. If I want to talk about my wealth, if one of my goals is wealth, I need to say like, okay, well, I want to make $500,000 this year. What does that physically look like? I want $500,000 in the bank next year. Don't give it a deadline. Like, don't actually give it a deadline, but just say like, this is my intention, right? I want $500,000. And that's like the physical side of things, because emotional, like think about the emotional consequences of that, because it's going to make me feel worthy and it's going to allow me to buy experiences with my family or do the things that I want to do. Now, this is something where everybody gets tripped up. I have absolutely been there. When I first set the stage for becoming a billionaire, which I'm not anywhere near close to becoming a billionaire, but that is my goal. Like, I have set that intentions. Check in on me in, I don't know, a decade, maybe less. I will be a billionaire. By all means, I will be. But when I first set that intention, it really wasn't working. And the reason why it wasn't working is because when you think about millionaires and multimillionaires, you think about like private airplanes, you think about yachts, you think about parties in New York City, LA, shopping at Louis Vuitton and all these fancy stores and streets and doing things like super fancy, couture, whatever that word is, right? And more than likely, if you're here watching this with me, like, that's just not who you are. You're not that. And I don't mean to be offensive for anyone who is really into style, fashion, and purchasing things, but like, I'd always associated really wealthy people with being like Kim Kardashian or like super fashion conscious and super trendy. And it took me a while to realize that the wealth that I wanted wasn't going to be used to do that kind of stuff. The wealthy example that I was looking at and that I always look at is Oprah Winfrey, right? Emotionally, what she does with her money, and Oprah's just as fine as shopping at the most expensive stores in the world as she is shopping at Target. And in fact, a friend who's actually met Oprah and is friends with Oprah was like telling me this story of, how was it? Oh yeah, she's like, yeah, we were at the beach and I was wearing my flip-flops that I bought at Target. And Oprah goes and looks at them and she's like, ooh, are those from Le Target? I think I bought the same ones last week. And my friend was like, you wear Target? She's like, no, it's not Target. It's Le Target. So that to me just kind of made that click of like, oh, that's what wealthy role model I want to emotionally connect with, right? This is where it comes with the emotions. Like, I want you to disengage from the idea that you're going to be that traditional kind of millionaire, wealthy magnet that you think of, right? If anybody's watched Billions here or is like looking at wealthy celebrities, like that's one thing. But there's a shitload of people. There's so many multimillionaires, billionaires that are nondescript. They're not on the media. You'd never know, right? And my thoughts, who here wants to be kind of more like that? Like that's your kind of wealth where you can pay for things and experiences. You can come spend Christmas and New Year's in beautiful Sanibel Island, Florida. You can go to Orlando and book for you and your family and all your cousins a private tour of Universal Studios, right? Or fly first class to wherever you want to go, right? Yes, ladies, I hear you. That's exactly like that. That's what you need to start envisioning yourself doing with money. Because right now, emotionally, there's just this, it's asynchronous. Like there's no connection between you and you wanting to be that wealth magnet, because you don't associate with being a Kim Kardashian. You don't want to be like a Kim Kardashian, right? So start thinking about it from the vantage point of the experiences that you want to have and the things that you want to outsource, right? And this is where it ties into wealth not necessarily being something like a resource that can help you buy things or even just experiences, but it can make your life easier by you doing things like generating jobs for other people, by outsourcing those tasks that you no longer want to have, right? And live those experiences, Audrey. You're totally right. And memories. And even more important than the memories, in my opinion, is the legacy that you're going to leave for yourself, for your children. And for me, the legacy that I'm going to leave for women that are coming up the pipeline, like that are coming generations down the line, right? Think of yourself in those terms. What is the legacy that you want to leave, and how is money going to help you? You see, for me, and some of you ladies already know this, but one of the big aspirations, and it'll be interesting to watch this video years down the line, is actually open physical working centers for her money school around the world, for countries where women and money aren't really quite synonyms. And it's really hard for females to start their entrepreneurial ventures and or negotiate, figure out their worth, etc. Right? So that's what I want my money to do for me. Like, I want you to think of the ideas, those big dreams that you have, and how is money going to help you? And that right there is going to lead you towards the energetic side of your goal, where you're also going to give that goal, like, you know, when you think of something that really excites you and that you're like, oh, I can't wait to do that. Right. So like if it's, I want to start a school in Africa, or go teach at, like one of the things that I do, and obviously I haven't done it during the pandemic, except for virtually, is I like to pay for myself to go to orphanages around the world and teach young women how to do their own startup, how to negotiate, how to really kind of reconnect with money and make shitloads of money. And we've had some incredible success stories, but like, that's what I want you to think about. Okay, what is my wealth, my money going to help me do? Right? So that you can connect emotionally. And then the way you segue that into the energetic connection is by saying, okay, energetically speaking, what's, and I'm not talking like energetically, like ethereally. I'm really just seriously like, there are things in this world that energize you, that get you excited, and there are things that deplete you. Spiders and needles deplete me. Like, no, thank you. But I don't know, going to the beach, going skiing, hanging out, coffee, like things that energize. A good conversation with a friend energizes me. That dream that your wealth is going to help you achieve energizes you, right? Exactly. Audrey, give hope of a better world to those kids. Melissa, be the good you wish to see in the world, right? Give me, and now that you understand this, right? Like the energetic side of your goal is, well, what does that next logical step look like? Like, what do I need to do energetically to get there? Right? Just, and I don't want you to go all out writing this, but I want you to write 3. And I want you to share one in here. Because here's the thing, there's a power of compounding effect. When you know that there's other women doing the same thing with you, it's freaking powerful. So I'm going to give you a second, and I'm going to go ahead and write mine. And I'm also going to share one in here. So take a minute. I don't have my watch on me, but arbitrarily, we're going to go based on how fast I write my goals for the year. So write your 3. If you want to go with more, go for it. But make sure that you're taking into account the physical, emotional, and energetic things that you need to feel. So it's not a goal that doesn't have teeth. Okay. So write those 3 things. We haven't even started, ladies' years. This is just like cursory exercise for what's coming next in a minute. So take your time. Feel free, if you have questions, pop them in the chat, because I got it open. I can see it. All right. Don't go too crazy on this. It's just so that we can kind of set the intentions for what we're going to be doing during this workshop. All right. So I'm not going to write it, but I'm going to share it with you. And I'd love it if you could share what you wrote in here. Oh, Michelle. Whoa. All right. I'm going to go with you first because this sounds awesome. I would ultimately like to grow and expand my business into serving, healing, and educating those around me and our future generations and ridding themselves of all the limits and societal rules we were brought up in, to discover who they are and what their values are before they are forced to make big life decisions like choosing subjects for a career or what they want to be in life. Oh, so true. Having the income to support this dream, to serve as many people all over the world as possible, will fulfill my reason and purpose and give me the motivation, passion, and purpose. That's got teeth. Kina says, this is long. I don't think it's that long, but hey, I want to complete endocrinology certificate at Duke University School of Nursing in December 2022. Hell yeah, smarty pants. My why, to increase my confidence in diabetes management and not let others influence my medical decision-making. Also, to be the best provider I can be for my patients, which will help them lead their healthier lives and prevent diabetes complications. Wow, that's super powerful. Yeah, way to go. Audrey, I want to be in a healthy environment, people, living space, mindset, to follow what my heart and head wants to go to maximize my impact in this world. Audrey, that's a good start. But I think you need to really like visualize it. Like, what does the healthy environment look like? Like, what is that? Don't be afraid of going there. Instead of just saying like, I want things to be better, I want to be in a healthier place or feeling, mindset and such. What does better look like? Don't be afraid. And most of the times we fear going there. We fear putting that on paper and like setting it in stone because we lack the confidence to believe, like, who am I to believe that I should live in a palace or that I should be in the White House, whatever it is, right? So don't, like, the dream is there, but don't be afraid of taking it to that next step up and saying, this is what I want. This is what I want it to look like. And here's the thing. There's whatever's out there that ultimately helps us kind of bring into our reality our dreams and ambitions. It's funny how things kind of manifest themselves, if you will. They don't necessarily happen. Well, they never happen according to plan. But somehow it's like the universe has its way of getting the things that we want come to us by like the back door, if you will. It's just sneaky ways how they happen. All right, I got two more here I want to read. Caroline, I want to be so emotionally happy and stable that when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm radiating with joy and energy. And I rate my happiness at 9 out of 10 because I'll be able to inspire and do so much more with my life. Hell yes, that is powerful. And do you have a more with your life? Like, what is that more? What is that more? Give it a name, give it a vision so that it has teeth, so that you're not cheating yourself out of your vision. Because I want to feel happier is good, but it's not pulling you. Like, I want to feel joy and energy and all of those things is powerful, but give it teeth. Why are you emotionally and energetically tying yourself to these results? Laxmi, finish my coaching certification so I can build my future and share my skills with others. Yeah. Start $1 million coaching business so I can take control of my life, empower myself to build my own future, travel, enjoy things without fear of money, look forward instead of fearing retirement one day, and work with other women to take control of your future. Hell yes. Super powerful. Now here's what I wrote. Partnership opportunities that allow me to share my message around the world and grow Her Money School into a global movement by teaching women that their ideas, their beliefs, and their purpose are worth their weight in gold. I want to be the catalyst for millions of women that ignites their dream. I'm not fucking shying away from it. My internal self 5 years ago would have said, who are you to help millions of women? Who do you think you are to be that ambitious? But myself right now is like, well, why not? Why not billions of women? Heck, go big or go home, right? So now that you have that, you kind of have your goals sorted out. This is where I want us to actually start doing some of the work. So now you can put those aside. We have basically a bit of an idea of what you want, but this is where we're actually going to go into understanding where the willpower fades and where these 3 potential blockages can kick in. So this might sound kind of weird, but if you've been in my world for a little while, you know that I always talk about there's so much more to perception than what is coming out of your mouth. In particular women, we are so good. You're going to have to acknowledge this. We have this 6th sense that allows us to read people and situations. And this reading is more than like just a visual and auditory reading. It's an energetic scent, if you will, and not in the energetic word of like what's positive, what's negative. It's just really in any sense of the word. If you just conjure the image in your head of your loved ones, of anyone, just think any person in your life. There are 3 scents, if you will, that they're putting out to the world: physical, emotional, and energetic. And there's 3 different ways in which you're interpreting that person. Physical, right? When you think of that someone, whether it's your parent, your child, your partner, do you think of them as someone who is physically active? Are they energetic? I think I need to come up with an energetic word for energetic, but like physically speaking, are they active? Are they lethargic? Right? There's always a physical side to them. There's like a physical definition that you instantly read that doesn't even have to have words for every single individual. There's like a reading. Call it this first judgment, call it however you judge people. Like there's an instant scent, if you will, that gets projected by you regarding anyone in the world. And this happens physically, emotionally. Like, are these people emotionally weak? Are they strong? Are they encouraging? You know, like when you have a vibe of someone. Yeah, Michelle, it could be presence, but it's really, and then let's get to energetic. Maybe you'll see what I'm saying. But like emotionally, you know, when there's people that you just don't connect. Like you feel that gut feeling of like, I really like this person, or I really don't like this person. Like there's something about the way that they are, or this emotional scent that just doesn't resonate with you. It kind of like scares you. It just, or makes you really, I don't know. It's that gut feeling that you get about people when you're like, I don't really know that I trust this person. Have you ever been there? I know that I definitely have. And I've honed in on my emotional and my energetic radar really, really well. And then energetically, you're also always projecting yourself out to the world. Do you guys see what I'm saying? It's not that I'm saying that you're smelly, but we're all really smelly in this scent that we project to the world. So like at any moment in time, you are projecting 3 different scents, 3 different smells. And I want to call them scents because there's really no better example. It's like if you're a flower and you're a smelly flower, you're going to attract certain kinds of bugs to your reality. And you might not attract another kind of bugs, right? Same goes with, I don't know what else is smelly. Pheromones, right? I think like the pheromones that attract your mate, or in animals in particular, let's just talk about animals. There's certain things, scents, hormonal scents that indicate between animals when the female is in heat and when the other one can kind of approach her, right? So I want you to think of these things and get used to the idea that you're projecting this scent 24/7. And that this scent either encourages you or blocks you from achieving those things that we just talked about, right? Remember how we were talking about when willpower fades? This is when these blockages might come up. So what we're going to be doing here is taking stock of these sense that translate truly into behavioral tendencies that you're projecting to the world 24/7, right? That will potentially block you from actually achieving who you are, because these are patterns of behavior. Your physical, emotional, energetic sense are behaviors. Like they manifest themselves in who you actually carry yourself out to be. And whether they be through your thoughts, your actions, how you wake up in the morning, those deeply ingrained behaviors, such as like, I'm a morning person who drinks coffee, or I'm a morning person who doesn't drink coffee, who drinks tea, right? Do you see what I'm saying, ladies? Do you understand this concept of you being smelly or scented, if you will, and that you're projecting 24/7 into the world? Good. Awesome. Oh, Britt here brings a good goal: complete clearing out and releasing the additional clutter in my home. Oh man. After the loss of my husband 2 years ago, to obliterate potential blockages, to allow continued growth, inspiration, and abundance for me to thrive and share my God-given gifts to uplift and impact others, to leave them better off than when I met them. Heck yeah. That's a good one. Good one. Really good. All right. So what I want you to do now, and now we're going to go into actually releasing these potential blockages and showing you how to clear them before they ever actually dive in. And this is where you can do this for those 3 things separately, right? But for right now, like, we're not really doing the goals. Those goals, like, that's good. Those are like to keep in the back burner for right now. Right now, I really want you to go into describing yourself in terms of the physical, emotional, and energetic projection that you bring to the world. Okay. So whether they're good or bad, and I did my list a little bit earlier today because I want to make sure that I'm showing you how to do this today. And it's interesting to do this exercise like year after year, or even every few months, just to get a clear vision of where you are, right? So where are you in relation to physical, emotional, and energetic projections? So who do you portray yourself, or who are you physically right now? So what I wrote was, I have aches and pains. I am energetic. I'm active. I'm over the weight that I want to be. I have insomnia. I eat healthy, but sometimes I really just fall off the wagon. I'm beautiful. I'm fit. I can be lazy. I can have anxiety. Like be blunt, be freaking honest. Like, where are you in relation to your physical being? And listen, it doesn't matter whether you overlap categories. Like what we're doing is kind of taking stock of where you are. And if you put, you know, I get anxious on physical and then you also put an emotion, like that's totally cool. Doesn't really matter. It's just for you to understand that these are all parts of you that come to play in the equation of establishing what happens in your life. So give yourself a minute, do your physical aspect of where you are right now at the beginning on January 1st. Where are you in relation to your physical reality? Who is it that you project to the world? Who is it that you are? And it's not just projection, right? It's who you are. Because these are things that you cannot really hide from the world. Like you can't hide these realities. Anyone who's in tune with perception is gonna catch this. Like you can maybe fake it for a while, but eventually the cat comes out of the bag. So who are you really physically? And when you're done there, give me a 1 in the comments so that we can move on to emotional. Who are you physically? Are you overweight or over the weight that you want to be? Are you not eating as healthy as you want to? Are you inconsistent with your exercising routine? Are you lazy? Are you disciplined? Like whatever, good or bad, share it. I'm going to change this one because I actually don't think I'm lazy. I'm pretty darn active. And diligent. All right, give me a 1 when you're done writing your physical reality. Oh, we got lots of 1s. I didn't see them. All right, good. Now let's go. Oh, no, we're not there yet. Let's go to emotional. Now, when it comes down to emotional, right? What are you like? I wrote that I am a uncontrollable hurricane, a roller coaster. I am multi-focused, oftentimes projecting in too many directions. Again, this is just be very honest with yourself. I'm reading these to you because I'm doing this as we are doing it. And I'm being very blunt with myself. So don't judge, because I won't judge you. So don't judge me. Uncertain at times, indecisive, self-doubt, and on overdrive, unable to shut down. And again, all of these things, like they could be bad, they could be good, right? Just don't judge yourself. Just write the truth down. What are the good things and what are the bad things? And when you got it, write 2 in the comments so that I know that we can keep moving onto energetic. Are you an emotional roller coaster? I think it kind of depends on the time of the month. Confused? Unclear? Determined? Yeah. That's awesome. And that is brutal honesty. You know, to say that you're confused, that you're unclear, that you're impulsive. Like to admit those things to ourselves is really powerful because those are traits that we are usually hiding from the world, or at least we try to hide from the world. And quite frankly, we shouldn't. We should harness them because those truly are, they end up becoming our greatest strengths, right? All right, ladies, now let's move on to your energetic reality, to your energetic scent or projection, who you project that you are. Now, for me, and you're going to notice the same thing, that there's one of these three categories in which you're way more powerful than in the other categories. For me, my energy, as you guys can probably tell, is like my forte. So what I wrote in my categories, I'm fire, I'm passion, I have the drive and will to help myself and others succeed and improve. I clear confusion while I'm scattered and unfocused at times. I can see clarity through the mess. I'm positive and I'm constantly feeling a very positive vibration, white energy. Like whatever it is for you energetically, are you always in a negative mood, right? This is where we were talking about those people that deplete you. Like, are you a depleting person? Probably not if you're here. Are you an energized person? Or where are you in relation to where you would want to be, right? Write it down and give me a 3 in the comments so that I know that you've done it. And we can move on to where you want to be. Is it normal that I feel like shit in all 3 categories? Yeah, totally. This is about brutal honesty. Like the first time that I did this, it sucked. It really effing sucked. I was like, I really do not like myself. But here's the thing, admitting that to myself was the best thing that I could have possibly ever done. Because it allowed me the space to give myself permission to accept myself for who I am and see very clearly what I liked about myself and what I didn't like and what I wanted to change. Okay, you can't think of much in category 3. What are you? A fiery person? Are you a passionate, determined person? Are you very driven to help yourself, to help others? Are you a person who is energetically charged? Are you like go, go, go all day long? Like my team or people that are around me, they're like, stop. Like a person who has very low energy. And if you can't think of it from your own vantage point, think about it in relation to the people that gravitate to you. Like people with very, very, very low energy or who thrive in low energy will gravitate really far away from me because I'm too much. You see what I'm saying? Cool, you got it. Awesome. All right. So, and ladies, this is the hard part. Like this inventory is the hard part. But what we're going to do, we'll give you such clarity that going forward, you're going to be like for the rest of the day, like, oh, these are my limits. This is what I need to be doing. And you don't even consciously have to do this, but it's just bringing all of these things to your awareness makes it inevitable for you to take action. And that's what we want to do, is like bring things to your awareness. So you're like, oh, that's right. This is who I am. This is how I operate. Now, where do you want to be in relation to these? So take stock. For example, where would I want to ideally be physically? Now I'm going to let you go through those 3 categories for yourself. I'm just going to share with you what I wrote. I want to be fit. I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to look like I did before. I don't know if you guys knew, but I had a bunch of miscarriages over the last like couple of years. I had 4 miscarriages and I'm still working on recovering, like physically. I'm not there yet. So I want to feel fit and physically healed. I want to be eating and living healthy. I want to be calm, yet active. I want to feel and be joyful and beautiful. Like look in the mirror and feel beautiful every day. And I know that's a hard one. Like anybody can tell you, like, yeah, I look in the mirror and I say those affirmations and such. And yeah, but we don't really buy into them. And here's the thing. Let's talk about affirmations for a second here. It's funny, I think it's Tony Robbins always talks about, like, you can't really just plant a garden and just wish and hope that there are no weeds. Like, and repeat to yourself, like, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, there's no weeds, and hope that they're not going to grow, right? Because they inevitably do grow. You need to take action in order for your vision, your positive affirmations, if you will, to actually take place. But here's the one thing that I will say. And for those of you who are staying till the end, which I'm going to give you a copy of my favorite book, literally my favorite book in the whole world. The author, I'm not gonna spoil it for you. I'm gonna give you the book at the end, but I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But like, the author talks about, there is something to be said for substantially, like, programming through repetition into your belief patterns by association, into your ability to have faith in what you're trying to achieve through repetition. Affirmations don't always work, as the brain does not believe it, but you can choose one that resonates with and make it a habit by repeating it daily till your subconscious believes it. Is that your question, Michelle? So here's the thing. Like, there's been studies done about this, right? And it's really, if you put someone who's never been exposed to crime, right, and that regular adult who's never really been exposed to crime, you grab him and you put him or her to live in the town with highest crime in the world. At first, they're going to be appalled. They're going to be completely appalled. Later, they're going to kind of like start to get to accepting, like, this is a reality, like, this is the new reality. Then they're going to start getting used to it. And eventually, they're going to be accepting of it. And then eventually, they might even become it. And this is one of those things that we see, right, with people who are born and immersed into poverty, oftentimes can't get out of it because they're just in it. Like, that is their reality. That is the affirmation, if you will, that the world gives them day in and day out. So there is something to be said for immersing yourself in situations that affirm the reality that you want to achieve. And I think that is the true goal of affirmations, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. But anyhow, where do I want to be in relations to my emotion, like in my emotional scent, if you will? Focused. I always work to improve my focus. Like, that's who I want to be, someone with phenomenal focus, which I do have, but I want it to be better. I want to be more decisive. I want it to have more instant focus and staying power. I want to believe with absolute certainty in who I am, what I stand for, and what my focus is. right? And then energetically, I want to continue to project positive, white, resilient energy. I want to be passionate, I'm focused, dedicated, driven to succeed and improve. Ladies, go ahead as I sip my coffee, write down, where do you want to be in relation to these energetic states? Now remember, I'm going to bring you back to why we're doing this, right? You had those goals, the ones that we have in the back burner. And we know that willpower can carry you for a couple of days, but something or all three things or two of these things are going to pop up. Two of the things that you wrote in the last slide, like, where are you in relation to these? Like, there's some negative shit here that's going to pop up and block you from achieving those goals. It's going to be physical, it's going to be emotional, it's going to be energetic, right? So understanding who you are, who this persona is, and where you want to be in relation to these. Like, remember why we're doing this is the only way you can actually achieve those goals. You set goals that have teeth, that are pulling you towards that reality that you want. And now you're understanding what your blind spots are. Was it physical, emotional, and energetic? Where are your blind spots? And where do you need to be in relation to these in order for those to not be blind spots? Do you see what we're talking about here? Like, where do you need to be, or where do you want to be in relation to these, so that you can feel successful, you can be successful? You can be that business owner, that coach. You can be constantly in that state. Like, where do you want to be in relation to these three areas? Give me a thumbs up or a ready in the comments to let me know that you've written out where do you want to be in relation to these. Ready, done. All right, ladies, good. Now we're moving to the next. All right, super simple. Ladies, none of this is rocket science. It's all pretty freaking simple. What needs to happen in order for you to get there? Pretty flipping straightforward, isn't it? For me, my food choices, my ability to decide what situations to enter and not enter, particularly talking about like unnecessarily stressful situations, or move myself away from circumstances that are going to not allow me to enjoy a beautiful, calm life, right? Emotionally, to meditate, practice attention, practice focusing attention, read more books in calm situations. Energetic, I don't really want to work on any of those things. Like, I love my energy. I'm feeling pretty good about it. You're getting a real internal kick in the butt. Good. That's awesome. That's the whole point of it. But do you see like why I do this on the first of the year and I don't do it before? Because if you do it before the new year, it kind of bursts your bubble a little bit. Because it's like, shit, man, like, I need to work on all of this stuff. But doing it when you're already on the road, when you're traveling already, January 1st, you're in the new year. You're like, all right, well, we are on this train. I cannot get off of it by saying I'll start tomorrow. So, all right, if I'm on this train, how do I get there? Right? The train's already leaving the station. How do I lay down the tracks? so that it actually goes where I want it to go. It kind of adds a little urgency to do it when you're already departing. So how do you get there? How do you get to that physical version of you that you want to get to? That physical version that will not say like, oh, I'm not going to work out today, right? What needs to happen? Do you need to find a buddy to go to the gym? Or do you need to sign up for some program, nutritional program? What do you need to see happen so that you don't block yourself emotionally? Like, do you struggle with anxiety and those patterns of behavior, that negative self-talk? Like, what is it that you wrote holds you back? And if so, what safeguards can you put in place to avoid those blind spots, or to avoid that inevitable boycotting that is going to happen? Do you need a therapist? Do you need to take medication for anxiety or depression, right? Do you need to get those things under control? Those monsters that keep creeping up. Do you need to deal with your money mindset? Total plug for Her Money School. Come and join us, because we got hundreds of hours of trainings and tools that can help you with that. And what is it that you need to do to take care of yourself so that that block will not block you from achieving your goals? And then energetically, what needs to happen for you to stay in that energetic or energizing state rather than that depleted state? Do you need to eliminate certain people from your life? Or do you need to not let them get to you as much? Now, for me, whenever someone's energy does not resonate with me, next, they're out. Whether that is a person, like a client, or people that I see are depleting me and they are draining my energy rather than allowing me to infuse them of energy and therefore infusing myself. Like, if I feel a drain, an energetic drain, I'm like, I'm done. That's it. I've come to realize that my energy is so freaking precious, as you should too, that it's really the one thing that I can 100% intuitively rely on. So what needs to happen in order for you to get there? Now, this list, you might be thinking through it throughout the day, but once you see it, once you see this reality, you can't unsee it. And I don't know what time it is, 11:05. We're a little over the time that I was hoping for, but that's totally cool. Now, the last thing that I do want to talk about in relation to this, right? So now it's perfectly clear to you what your goals are and the three major roadblocks, or the three only areas in which you're going to have roadblocks, right? There's obviously external things that can happen that are out of your control. Like my dear friend, we were talking yesterday. She was part of the Colorado fires and they lost everything, like her home, everything, all of the, like her house, her car. She's like, I don't even have another pair of shoes. Like I just have the shoes I'm wearing. We just rushed out our house. Thankfully, we got our dog, kids, everyone's safe and healthy, but they lost everything, literally everything. Right. But where was I going with that? I don't even know where I was going with that. I don't even know where I was going with that. I totally lost that, but I was just thinking about her. So anyhow, now that you know, and that you have, oh yeah, you can control everything. Thank you, Caroline. I appreciate it. I was like, why was I even talking about this? Sometimes you just can't control what's going to happen externally, But these three elements, physical, emotional, energetic, you always have absolute control and decision power around those. Now, at times, you're going to have to catch yourself. How do you figure out when you're facing a blockage? Because obviously, sometimes it's hard to see the forest for the trees. How do you catch yourself? Now, it's actually quite easy. And I want you to share in the comments, how do you tend to catch yourself? Okay. Now, the way to know how, like when you're entering one of these limits, one of those limiting factors or one of these blockages, when you're entering that red zone, the way to catch yourself is because you're going to feel the thrashing. I call it the thrashing. I don't know. A lot of people call it whatever else it might be, but it's like, you're going to feel that anxiety of being placed in that situation, right? When it's like your alarm goes off and you hit snooze and say like, no, I'll go tomorrow. I promise I'll go later. I'll go this afternoon. And you know that energetic, like there's just like this almost like this thrashing of like, I don't want to go. I do want to go. I don't want to go. I don't want to, like, you feel that, right? That is when you're entering your limit. That is when you need to choose the other version of you, who you want to be this year, right? Then, for example, when it comes down to money, right? When you're entering that point of like, I need more clients, but I don't know how to say, I don't know how, like, I don't know how to get more clients. I don't know how to make more money. And when you're feeling that thrashing, right? That like pull, it's almost like you're being pulled back by your mindset and you're being pulled forward by your dream, right? You've got this goal, you've got this dream that wants to go forward, but then there's this side of you that's pulling you back saying you don't know how, you're not good enough. That is the thrashing that I'm talking about. And that's where you just basically say like, thankfully, I'm catching myself. I can figure this out. All right. What is that next logical step that I need to do, right? How do I get myself out of that situation? Now, if you're, and most of you ladies are in the money pit, right? Where it's like, I want to build this massive business. I don't know how. I don't have the tools. I don't have the situation. I don't have the resources. Like, I want you to stop, catch yourself and say, how do I become resourceful within the current situation? Like, don't allow yourself to pull in that negative direction, because when you do, you're falling back. Like that's when your block is winning. If you fall back, it's okay. But know that you just fell back into that blockage. And that is the blockage that you're going to feel, because you're feeling that tension pulling you in each direction. You got the dream, but then you're being like, it's almost like you're being pushed off the cliff by your negative emotional baggage. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you, I mean, many of you ladies are in our mastermind and her money school. The tool that I'm going to highly recommend you check out in your membership portal is the Unapologetically Wealthy Woman course, because that deals with like all of those money baggages and how to be able to expand your limit. It's not about like completely removing these limits. And this is why I put this target here, right? It's not about like busting through glass ceilings and such, because that doesn't actually really help you. Because when you move too far beyond your comfort zone all at once, you enter like this place of paranoia, right? Like, you know how when people bust through blockages or like they win the lottery and then they end up with nothing, it's because they didn't outgrow their actual parameters. They just busted through and they're going to fall right back. So it's about slowly kind of growing your sphere of like the parameters that you hold yourself to. So if you can slowly each time you face that, okay, I want to own my business, I want to make money, but I can't, I don't know how. First step that's going to grow your little sphere around you, like your limit zones, is going to be acknowledging that, right? That you just caught yourself saying like, okay, I just caught myself saying that or doing that. That's awesome. That's great. Like first step, your parameters, just like your circle, if you will, like the limits that you're able to push through just got that much bigger. Next time you do that and you catch yourself, like when you're entering that limit and you catch yourself saying like, oh, I don't know how to generate the wealth. I don't know how to get clients. I don't know how to make more money. You're going to say like, okay, I'm catching myself here. How do I trade that question into the right question, which would be, what do I need to do right now? What energizes me right now that I could do to get clients in a way that absolutely energizes me? You're going to be like, okay, I'm going to use Olivia's scripts to reach out to that one woman who said that she liked what I do. Boom. Your parameters just grew, right? Don't think that you have to do it all at once. Because look, it's January 1st. Think about it. If you can consistently move those barriers just a tiny bit every single day, by the end of a month, you're going to be here. By the end of 2 months, you're going to be here. Think about where you're going to be towards the end of a year. Super freaking powerful. So, ladies, give me your thoughts. I want to hear where you are in relation to this training. Was it helpful? And put it in the comments, because I'm gonna go ahead. In the meantime, I know I promised I would give you my favorite book of all times, like literally all times. Good. This is so helpful, Kay. Michelle, it was just what I needed. Awesome, Caroline. Yes, it's helpful. Super nice. Awesome. It was very helpful and sets the right tone for the year. Yes. And I'm going to give you a copy of my book here. Not my book, but by my favorite author. Dun, 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 dun. Who is this? Who is it? And think of it as a required reading. Literally, it's January 1st. So if you have time, which I'm sure you do, go ahead and start freaking reading this book. I want to take guesses. Who can guess what book this is? Put it in there. Put it in the chat while I look for it. Audrey says Atomic Habits. No idea, but Bruce Lipton comes to mind. Who is Bruce Lipton? I have no idea who that is. Law of Attraction? Not quite. Who is Bruce Lipton? Do I know him? You were thinking of Atomic Habits as well. Cool. Quantum Physics. I'll have to check him out. It sounds actually pretty exciting. I was writing down my shit so intently that I can't stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Just continue writing. And here's the thing, ladies. The book I'm going to share with you was actually, and you probably like all are going to be like, what? This? I've heard of it. And probably many of you have heard of it. Most of you have likely heard of it. But maybe you haven't read it. And I'm going to give you this as your assigned reading for the frickin' year. Because it will absolutely, and read it, don't listen to it. Because I listened to it the first pass and it just like went through. Reading it is going to make the whole, like, I literally, when you're done with this book, reach out to me because your life will have already started to change. Can you promise that you're going to read it? Like Caroline, okay, I will read it. Michelle, yes. Promise. Caroline, promise. I will. Yes, promise. All right. If you're ready to promise that you're going to read it, I'm going to put it here in the chat. And if you're watching the replay and you can't access the chat for whatever reason, just message me wherever it is. Message me or someone on the team. We'll get it to you. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Read it, don't listen. Yeah. Napoleon Hill. Ladies, this book was written, I think, in the 1930s. When was it written? I don't know. Decades. It was written right after the Great Depression. And you are going to find that absolutely every single last story in this book hits the chord that you are looking to hit. You've never read it, you own it, but have you read it? And that's the thing, right? You started it, but never finished. Yes. I want you to pick this book. If you even started it and like kind of thought about it, but just didn't really do anything, this book quite literally changed my life. It took me from realizing that I could take control of my reality, but particularly my financial reality, and truly make anything happen. And it's what I'm teaching my kids, what I'm teaching myself every freaking day. And everyone that you see out there. Yeah. And I often start books and I don't finish them. This one's one that I've actually read multiple times. So listening to it versus reading it, I would, if you're going to do listening, combine it, but don't listen ahead of where you're reading. Because let me tell you, I'm an Audible fan. I get at least 6 credits a month. I listen to books all the time. And oftentimes I listen to books on repeat 3 to 4 times at 1.2, 1.5 speed, because that's how I operate. I'm on overdrive. In case you haven't noticed, I'm always on overdrive. And it drives my husband crazy because he's like the most zenned out person in the world. He needs peace, he needs quiet, and all of that. No, you don't have to purchase it. I just gave you the book right here. Use this link. I am giving you the best book in the world that is going to change your financial reality, ladies. Take it, download it, put it on your phone, put it on your Kindle, print it out. Well, printing it out might not make sense, but it's not an expensive book at all, actually. Like if you order it on Amazon, it's whatever. The link is above here. I'm going to put it again for a 3rd time. Take it, take my Dropbox link, download it. Can you ladies let me know if you can download it and use it? And open it. This book, read it, and you can't see it? Can you not see it? I want to bring it to everyone. Oh, good to know. Okay, there. Can you see it there? There. And I'm posting it because I said I'd post it 3 times. I'm posting it 3 times in here. Can you download it? Okay, got it. Awesome. Michelle, got it. Melissa, awesome. Yes, ladies, download it. Put it on your freaking Kindle. Put it on your phone, on whatever platform you need, on your computer, wherever you're doing this, and start reading it. And it is your required homework. After what we've done today, just use the rest of the day to dive into this book. Even if it's a few minutes a day, just read this book. Okay? Because it will change your financial reality. You have no fucking excuse right now. You not only have your goals, you not only have the blockages that are going to pop their ugly face up, You also have the book that changed my financial reality and has allowed me to make millions of dollars. And that literally has allowed me to be in sunny Florida, manifest that reality that I want, to go to Universal Studios and do private tours for my family and myself. And then obviously, if you want to take it to the next level and you want to do it in a similar way that I've done it, join me in her money school. Total plug for money school. But you now have everything you need to make that shit, everything that you want to have achieved this year. Yes, downloaded. Good. All right, ladies, I'm going to go to the beach, hang out with my kiddos. But I am hoping from the bottom of my heart that you have the most fabulous of years, and that this year is a year that all your money dreams, all of your ambitions and goals, but beyond goals, like that this is the most fucking wealthy and joyful year that you have ever experienced. You are so welcome. So welcome, ladies. Caroline, Michelle, ladies, thank you. You are so welcome. This was amazing and powerful. So good. Happy New Year to every single one of you, ladies. I'm so glad to have had the privilege of hanging out with you. Have a fabulous rest of your day. Enjoy the book and go get your dreams. Let's make it happen. Mwah.